And just like that, let's talk about fashion icons that influence the fashion industry. And make no mistake, this series has a serious impact on current trends. Today I want to cover Charlotte's best outfits from season 1. Her timeless, elegant style is an inspiration to so many of us. Thank you for voting in a recent poll. She's my favorite. Now, for those of us who want to dress more like her, I would describe her style as alternating between traditional elegance and preppy chic. From sweating on a tennis court to painting walls to walking her dog, she always looks put together, appropriate for the activity with sprinkles of luxury. I want to break down the common elements that her character uses when creating these looks. The tennis dress, a classic all-white Charlotte look. I don't want this to turn into another old money video, but a lot of her outfits have a well thought out combination between the traditional elegant style combined with modern fashion trends. More all-white we see in the painting scene where she's dressed head to toe in denim overalls. Practical? Not really. It's probably the last outfit you should be wearing at a paint job, but it also shows how feminine, appropriate, and delicate her character is. Always dresses according to the activity, but then the chic element is added with the all-white, a classic uniform. I also want to mention that it's not just any overall, but a denim one. And if you've been following my latest trend videos of this season, denim is all over, smothering the market. This season aired at the end of 2021, so for all of 2022, we've been seeing the influx of trends that were inspired by these characters' outfits. The nightgown, the back deep cut nightgown. This nightie stood out to me so much because we don't see this style often or at all in movies. It's also impractical. I don't actually imagine anyone wearing this to sleep in. Your entire back is out and I would be cold. It's good for a bedroom look, but a bit impractical to me. Very elegant. I'm sure it's made out of silk and it exudes elegance. I find it alluring because unlike the traditional sexy look where the cleavage is showing, here it's fully covered, leaving room to the imagination. And the back can also be very exciting to display and view. Florals. Charlotte is the ultimate feminine woman. She brings youth into her looks by wearing girly elements that we are used to seeing in younger years, such as the headbands, the ribbons, and layering spaghetti dresses with the white tee underneath. These are all teen looks. Her version, since aging and the 50s is a big topic in this season, I feel like flowers are a more appropriate way of borrowing youthful elements. She wears different combinations of florals, from the all-pink Gucci at the park, from the famous white dress with flowers that she wore to match her daughter's Oscar de la Renta dresses at the concert, to the leaf print on a white dress design shown twice. Wow, that was a mouthful. Now, between all the characters, I've noticed Charlotte's signature is the florals with a happy meaning behind it to spark joy and life. Miranda doesn't wear any florals at all, and Carrie has a couple, but they are more toned down and don't stand out. Let's talk about the abundance of material and volume added to her blouses. With the pussy bow details, she wears several versions of this style. The balance here, if you notice, is that the material is very thin. It's probably silk chiffon-like, which balances out the puffiness. Now, if you think that it's too much for your torso, or perhaps you have a short torso, another option is to wear monochromatic colors, because florals are a busy look by default and the extra layers can be fun to wear, but this is where we distinguish the difference between making a fashion statement where you turn heads versus blending it in a normal day-to-day wear. I recently got my own version of this style from Lily Silk. I've been eyeing it for years and it's such an uplifting look that will inevitably help set the day. And what I found is that once you break the ice and wear it once, people start getting used to seeing you wearing a little bit more print or patterns, and it becomes the norm. What's important is that you enjoy and complements your mood for the day. Puffy sleeves tulle are also combined in styles that she wears. These delicate blouses are a playful take on feminine, energetic outfits. Love these details. Ruffles add dimension and sophistication without screaming for attention. Another element that I noticed in her casual look is visible layers. Collars with polo tops pairing in colors that are well thought out to produce enhanced visual effect. Here we see the purple and green combination which complement each other. And seeing them now, I wonder if it's the source of inspiration for this season's colors. I know that green and violet are most definitely spring colors in most spring seasons, but I'm noticing them more now. Do you think it's a coincidence that we see so many current trends in the series that came out a year ago? If we look at the side-by-side pictures between the choices of prints versus monochromatic, when she had close-up shots sitting, we only see her from the waist up. This is where she wears polka dots, florals, birds, I think at some point, designs that add dimensions. It adds to her fun, elegant character. When she's in a full body shot, she was dressed in monochromatic or block colors that are slimming. It's an interesting observation we can think about next time we want to look our best, depending on the visual exposure that we have to our own audience in a meeting or if we're presenting. We dress and add more dimensions on the top if exposing the chest, and minimal dimensions if we stand in front of people and they can see our full body. And last comment on her tops is the added fluff and volume. It was pretty exaggerated at some point. Very chic and stylish pieces, but to me some were abnormally big from what we're used to seeing in everyday wear. But yet again, this is where reality differs from fiction. Next, I must address her hair. Charlotte has the most heavenly hair I've seen on screen. It's just pure perfection, and I'm so glad to see that it's being managed well. It's mostly worn down, voluminous in a blowout, slightly wavy. This volume also helps balance the rest of her figure. It can almost be looked at as a standalone accessory that when big, everything else looks small. The only time she had a ponytail was during the tennis match, and I think that was one of her least favorable outfits. We must credit them for trying. The drop waist dress is as flattering as one can get for her figure. A nice trick they did is to distract from the waistline since it had to be a full-size shot, even for the torso with a shift dress look, and add movement and playfulness to the bottom. Pretty effective, isn't it? Prints, lines, belts, thin and thick are all visual elements to frame, contour, or separate portions of her body. Now, some of you are not going to like hearing this, but she looks heavier than in the original series. She actually looks like one of us. We're finally represented on screen. It just comes with age, but this challenge that we all face is also an opportunity to learn from the best. And this is why I think Sex and the City series is so successful, because we all find it relatable in some way to our own lives. We have professional stylists sharing tricks that we can use when we fluctuate in weight, and couldn't stop searching for these visual effects created throughout tailoring, fit, material, all combined to enhance the characters. The A-line skirts. Charlotte's waist is tiny and heavily emphasized. Her go-to style is the simple A-line skirt and dresses with belts, clearly defining block colors that separate her torso at the waistline. It's an effective slimming trick for the eye. The flowy designs and cinch material at her waist was on repeat. I think this is a mistake. You don't want extra material to start at the waist. It creates this tent-like effect and adds volume. Instead, the skirt should be smooth and trim on the abdomen and then start flowing out to hide the extra mass of the hips. Now, if you notice up close, when she wore the polka dot skirt, the design is exactly like this, smooth on top and pleats start lower. The puffy top is also matching in volume. Same look is created in the white pleated skirt and pink buttons shirt. Notice the details of the skirt is slimming and then flowy. When the ruffles start from the hips, it adds instead of subtract. And here we see the green dress details at the waist. I think this was not the most flattering style for her. A slight alteration to smooth the abdomen would have helped. Heavy on the belt to slim and distract. I really like her pink ones with subtle slimming shapes, which are thicker on the sides and slimmer towards the center to draw the eye in. Genius effect. The double belt in the front is also another trick because individually they're both narrow and you have this thin space in between, all to draw in and minimize the waist even further. Dresses. The maxi style dresses go hand in hand with the skirt she used. They can be slimming to elongate the body. There was a lot of volume in her outfits and sometimes it can work against you. I find the straight dresses more flattering on her, perhaps sized up a bit because she looks a little bit stiff in some of the tailored ones, but you notice her waist is always emphasized in one way or another. Very simple outfits. You want to draw the eye in the smaller part of your body and away from the bigger. The A-line dresses and straight dresses with belts balance her figure well. I do like that she's dressed for her body shape and not squeezed in too much. A little bit, but overall she looked comfortable. Pearl small hoops, the elegant subtle details that add shine without distracting. I also noticed the pearl additions to other pieces such as the black funeral dress. She had a small white pearl button to keep it together. Beautiful little feature. She also wears a crossbody bag with the entire strap made of oversized pearl strands. It's interesting to see it because I'm talking about handbag trends for this season. We see pearls are having a big moment as decoration in non-traditional ways. The funeral dress. This dress is gorgeous. All the details are well thought out. Now, the first thing that stood out to me is how ill-fitted it was. Way too small under all standards. It looked uncomfortable to watch and wear. Not sure what happened here, intentional or not. Even from the sides, it looked like it was popping over the hemline. And it's such a shame because the dress is gorgeous. For shoes, Charlotte wears sky-high heels. At the park, she wore the Pigalle Louboutin heels. There's a clear need to add vertical heights to her frame. You know my stand on this. Use neutral heels as much as possible to not cut off your legs. I highly recommend you watch my video on how to create the elongated legs effect if you haven't already. But then again, all characters are wearing outrageously high heels. It's for all shoe lovers and we appreciate it, don't we? Charlotte's fashion style in Just Like That is a mix of classic and contemporary elements, just showcasing her sophisticated taste and impeccable sense of style. She's always been a fashion-forward character with a preference for designer labels and statement pieces. In the new series, we see her continue to showcase her high-end fashion sense, but also incorporating more comfortable and practical pieces into her wardrobe. I'd love to know which is your favorite outfit she wore this season. Subscribe for more fashion and style tips, and if you enjoyed this video, next time breaking down the classic expensive looks, I'll see you there.